Welcome to episode 9 of the Animorphs Read-Along broadcast, where I ramble about the glory of Animorphs to a nearly non-existent audience. Today we are talking about Book 8, The Alien. From the very beginning of this book, we can tell that Applegate is sort of like distinguishing it from the previous books. There's a prologue, which we've never had before. We also have excerpts from Axe's diary at the beginning of every chapter. The writing style is totally different. Axe has a much more formal way of speaking and thinking, I guess, than the other Animorphs. That could have turned into sort of a drier, more like boring book, but she totally worked it and made it into comedic gold. I guess this is like a trope in fiction, like the outsider sort of coming in and examining human culture, things that we take for granted. Applegate uses Axe in this way so effectively. He's so funny. So the big theme for this book is this divided loyalties situation. Axe is an Andalite. Andalites have laws and rules and cultural norms. Axe is totally isolated. He's alone on Earth, and his only friends, really the people that he owes his life to, are the Animorphs. Axe has been around for a couple books now, but he's been very guarded, and it turns out Axe has a lot of secrets. Because of Andalite law, mainly Ciro's kindness, he's not supposed to tell humans about Andalite technology or Andalite history. As we see the fallout from the destroyed Kandrona, the gang finally starts to see Yeerks starving to death and their hosts like waking up. The ultimate goal that they could have hoped for, and everyone's so excited, but Axe knows right off the bat that the Yeerks are going to clean this up. This is not going to be the end of the war. Jake kind of figures out that Axe knew that. He feels extremely betrayed, and he's like, how could you hide this from us? You know, we thought you were one of us. We've welcomed you. We've treated you like a friend. And he basically is like, look, you're one of us or you're not. You need to decide. As the reader, when we see Axe hiding these things, at least when I was a kid, I was like mad at Axe. I was like, how could you not like be super loyal to the Animorphs? But Axe's position is actually pretty easy to understand. I mean, he's literally billions of miles away from the nearest Andalite. He has no one. I think sometimes because of his like more formal speech, we forget that Axe is a kid. All he really has of his people right now is their culture, their customs, their laws. Who is he as a kid to sort of decide that those are wrong, decide that he should go against those? He ends up eating dinner with Cassie's family in a really sweet scene. Cassie knows, obviously, that Axe is very lonely. You know, Cassie, being the sort of empathetic person that she is, I guess, more aware of it and also more willing to be understanding about Axe's like divided loyalty situation. I always feel like Cassie sort of had ulterior motives whenever she did this, because it wasn't just about like being a friend to Axe. It was also about reminding Axe, like, when you're withholding information from us and you're thinking that the welfare of Andalites is more important than the welfare of humans, you're saying that these people don't matter. Axe sort of inadvertently invents some new advanced technology whenever he's playing on Marco's dad's computer. He's like, maybe I can use it to contact the Andalite homeworld. So far in the series, the Andalites have sort of represented this beacon of like hope and goodness, and you know, basically this whole thing is that the Animorphs are holding out until the Andalites bring in reinforcements. This is just supposed to be like a waiting game, and the Andalites are going to inevitably come and save them. When Elfangor gave the kids these powers, it was, you know, this heroic thing. In his last dying moment, he wanted to make sure that humanity still had a chance and could go on fighting. The Andalites will view that not as an act of heroism, but a criminal act of betrayal, and something sort of unforgivable. The Andalite commander actually tells Axe he needs to take responsibility for this. He's like, Elfangor was a great hero. He was beloved by the people. So Axe, didn't you do this? It's just a really slimy moment, and you sort of start to realize that maybe in some ways Andalites care more about rules and tradition and appearances than actually about doing what's right. When the gang confronts Axe about, you know, all his secrets and lies, Marco really gets to the heart of it. We're inferior, aren't we? That's it, right? We're not good enough. Backward little humans. We don't deserve to be treated like equals. Axe ends up getting information from an angry Yeerk who is mad at Visser 3, who wants Visser 3 dead. So Axe is given this pretty heavy information of where Visser 3 is going to be feeding. Basically gets his moment to kill Visser 3, which he's obligated to do in order to like avenge Elfangor. It definitely looks like it's going to be a suicide mission. Even though Axe basically walked away from the Animorphs and Tobias was sworn to secrecy, Tobias breaks his promise to Axe and the Animorphs come to the rescue. They're unable to kill Visser 3. He gets away in his Yeerk form, which is like kind of hilarious. And Axe, in a moment of like pretty epic weakness, I think, neglects to kill Mr. 3's host body. Like, that was a huge mistake. First of all, Aloran's not really living right now. He's been a slave for however many years, and he's probably going to be a slave for the rest of his life. So killing him is a mercy. And second of all, even if it isn't, they kill controllers all the time. In the end, I wouldn't say Axe necessarily betrays his people. He does decide to bend and break a few rules. And I think that in some ways that's the best way to honor Elfangor, because Elfangor was a rule breaker. I was really proud of Axe, and I'm really glad that he's like a full-fledged member of the team now, maybe in ways that he wasn't before. So those are all my thoughts about Animorphs number 8, The Alien. If you want to keep up with this read-along, subscribe to this channel or follow me on Twitter. Leave your thoughts in the comments. The next book is book number 9, The Secret. Legal ways to track it down are in the description. And I will see you on Thursday.